Stop what you are doing right now. We have just secured leaked, high-definition footage and off-the-record medical reports from one of the most violent nights in the history of television. We are talking about the night the golden boy of Hollywood, John Cena, was led like a lamb to the slaughter against the returning beast, Brock Lesnar, at Extreme Rules 2012. But what if I told you that this wasn't just a match? What if I told you that the blood you saw on the canvas was part of a secret corporate hit designed to humble Cena forever? New insiders are coming forward claiming that Brock Lesnar was given a black label contract that night, a license to actually hurt John Cena. We've obtained a leaked recording from the trainer's room where a WWE official is heard whispering, "He's going off script, Brock is actually trying to end him." The internet is in a state of absolute meltdown as frame-by-frame analysis shows Lesnar's elbow connecting with Cena's skull in a way that was never practiced in any rehearsal. This was a public execution masquerading as a main event. Social media is erupting with hashtag Cena betrayed as fans uncover that Cena was allegedly forced into this match despite a secret arm injury that was hidden from the public. Why did the front office want their biggest star destroyed? What did Brock Lesnar know about Cena's private life that he used to fuel his rage? This is the most explosive celebrity news story of the decade, involving secret medical cover-ups, boardroom betrayals, and a level of brutality that left the locker room in tears. If you think you've seen this match, you haven't seen the truth. Stay tuned, because what we are about to reveal will change the way you look at John Cena's legacy forever. The moment Brock Lesnar stepped back into a WWE ring in 2012, the entire industry shifted on its axis, but the world had no idea that behind the scenes, a dark, corporate conspiracy was being orchestrated to dismantle John Cena's life and career piece by piece. We have obtained leaked internal emails from the top floor that reveal a shocking truth. John Cena was never supposed to win this match. In fact, he wasn't even supposed to survive it with his career intact. The Extreme Rules stipulation wasn't a choice. It was a trap set by high-level executives who felt Cena had become too big for his boots and needed to be humbled by a real-life monster. Brock Lesnar didn't come back for a paycheck. He came back as a mercenary with a license to maim. Insiders are now leaking details of a pre-match blood pact, where Lesnar was told to ignore the referee's instructions and make it look as real as possible. But according to secret recordings from the production truck, it went far beyond looking real. As the match began, the atmosphere in Chicago was toxic, but the real poison was in the boardroom. A leaked memo suggests that the referee was specifically told not to stop the match, regardless of how much blood Cena lost. And the blood came almost instantly. Within the first minute, Lesnar drove a jagged elbow into Cena's forehead, a move that medical experts now say was a calculated strike intended to cause a concussion. The silence in the arena was deafening as fans realized this wasn't the usual theatrical violence. This was a celebrity assassination happening in real time. Social media began to fracture as hashtag Cena is bleeding started trending within seconds. Fans were posting raw, unedited cell phone footage showing Cena's eyes glazing over, a clear sign of a neurological meltdown. But instead of calling for help, the corporate machine kept the cameras rolling.
Why?
Because the insider gossip suggests that a rival entertainment agency was looking to sign Cena, and the WWE wanted to ensure he was damaged goods before he could ever walk away. It was a betrayal of the highest order. A man who had carried the company for a decade was being fed to a beast as a message to the rest of the locker room. The Twitter wars escalated when a former WWE physician tweeted a cryptic message. The protocols were ignored. "Someone is going to prison for this." The tweet was deleted within 3 minutes, but the screenshots had already gone viral, sparking a global firestorm. Celebrities like Joe Rogan and Mike Tyson were reportedly watching in shock, with sources saying Tyson was appalled by the lack of protection for the athlete in the ring. Every time Lesnar slammed Cena into the steel steps, it wasn't just metal hitting bone, it was the sound of a legacy being systematically destroyed. The psychological warfare was even more brutal than the physical. Leaked audio from Lesnar's corner caught him whispering insults about Cena's family, personal jibes that were designed to break John's spirit. Cena's emotional breakdown was visible on his face. He wasn't just fighting for a win, he was fighting for his dignity. The big match John persona was stripped away, leaving a bloodied, broken man who looked like he had lost everything. But the conspiracy goes deeper. We've uncovered a secret recording of a phone call allegedly made by a WWE executive to a major sports news outlet during the match, telling them to prepare a headline about the end of the Cena era. They weren't just watching a match, they were narrating a funeral. Backstage, the tension was reaching a boiling point. Sources claim that several top stars, including Triple H and Randy Orton, were screaming at Vince McMahon to stop the carnage, but the chairman allegedly sat in silence, mesmerized by the destruction. This was a power move that went beyond sports. This was about ownership of a human being's future. The cinematic gossip suggests that Cena had refused a certain movie deal that the company wanted a cut of, and this match was the punishment. As the first half of this massacre reached its peak, Cena was a crimson mask. The canvas was stained a deep, dark red, a visual so jarring that several sponsors reportedly pulled their ads in real time. The social media meltdown was total. Fans were crying in the stands, not because their hero was losing, but because they felt like they were accomplices to a crime. The insider leaks suggest that Cena's own security team tried to enter the ring to stop the fight, but were blocked by corporate enforcers at ringside. This was a closed-circuit execution. But then, the first major twist occurred. A mysterious technical glitch caused the giant Titantron to flash a series of private text messages between Brock Lesnar and an unknown manager figure. The messages hinted at a double-cross that Brock was planning against the very people who hired him. It turns out, the Beast wasn't just there to destroy Cena illegally, he was there to take over the entire company. The betrayal was now three-dimensional. Shane McMahon's name began to surface in the rumors. Was he the one behind Brock's rogue behavior? The explosive confrontations weren't just happening in the ring. In the VIP suites, several high-profile celebrities were seen getting into heated arguments with WWE officials about the legality of the blood. The atmosphere was a powder keg. Just as Brock Lesnar picked up a heavy chain, a weapon that was not supposed to be in the ring according to the leaked official script, the arena lights turned a haunting shade of blue. A voice over the PA system, which sounded suspiciously like a hacked feed from a dark web whistleblower, whispered, "The chain is the key. The chain is the evidence." John Cena, barely able to stand, looked at the chain not with fear, but with a strange, desperate realization. He knew that if he touched that weapon, he would be violating a morality clause in his multi-million-dollar contract, giving the company the right to fire him without a cent. It was the ultimate catch-22. If he didn't use it, Brock would kill him. If he did use it, he would lose his life's work. The emotional breakdown of the champion was complete. He was trapped between a monster and a contract. The social media world was screaming at Cena to fight back, but the leaked documents show that Cena's lawyers were frantically trying to get a message to ringside, "Do not touch the chain." But in the heat of the moment, with the blood dripping into his eyes and the Beast closing in for the final kill, Cena made a choice that would send shockwaves through the celebrity world forever. He didn't just grab the chain, he wrapped it around his fist with a look of pure, unadulterated vengeance. The crowd went from a state of horror to a state of absolute, deafening delirium. This was the breakout moment that was never supposed to happen. The secret recording from the production booth captures the lead producer screaming, "He's off the reservation! Kill the lights! Kill the feed!" But it was too late. The world saw John Cena, the hero of children everywhere, turn into a man who was ready to commit a dark act to save his own life. The betrayal of his "never give up" mantra was the final bombshell. As he prepared to strike Lesnar with the illegal weapon, a sudden, piercing siren echoed through the arena, a siren that meant the police had arrived at the building. The screen flickered, the audio distorted into a high-pitched squeal, and the last image we saw before the first segment cut out was Cena's bloody fist descending toward Lesnar's jaw. The cliffhanger was a heart-stopper. Did Cena just end his own career to survive the night, or did the police arrive to arrest the Beast for attempted murder? The truth is far more terrifying than anyone could have imagined. The sirens screaming outside the Wells Fargo Center weren't part of the show. They were a signal that the corporate veil had finally been shredded. Inside the ring, the air was thick with the copper scent of John Cena's blood, and the insider leaks from that very moment suggest the production truck was in a state of total mutiny. We've obtained a leaked transcript of the director's audio where he's heard shrieking, "Who called the cops? This is a private event. Lock the doors." But the doors weren't staying shut. The social media chaos hit a new peak of insanity as fans outside began live-streaming a fleet of black SUVs pulling onto the loading dock. Rumors immediately caught fire on Reddit. Was Cena being arrested for using the chain, or was Lesnar being detained for assault with intent to kill? In the center of the ring, The silence was more terrifying than the noise. John Cena stood over a dazed Brock Lesnar, his fist still wrapped in that heavy steel chain, his face a mask of crimson. He looked less like a WWE superstar and more like a man who had just crossed a point of no return. A secret recording from a fan in the front row captured Cena looking directly at the executive suite, where Vince McMahon was allegedly sitting, and mouthing the words, "Is this what you wanted?" This was the ultimate emotional breakdown. The hero of the PG era, the man who preached hustle, loyalty, and respect, had just used a lethal weapon to survive a corporate hit job. The bombshell revelation came seconds later when the arena's massive video screen, the Titantron, didn't cut to a commercial, but instead flickered to a grainy, black-and-white security feed from the locker room area. The cinematic gossip world stopped spinning. The footage showed a high-level WWE executive handing a thick envelope to Brock Lesnar's personal security team earlier that evening. The fake but realistic leaks claimed the envelope contained bonus incentives for every minute Cena was kept bleeding. This was a bounty. The crowd's reaction shifted from excitement to a primal, guttural rage. Twitter was a war zone, with the hashtag corporate attempted murder trending globally in under 4 minutes. Celebrities like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and CM Punk were reportedly blowing up the phones of WWE officials, demanding to know if this was a work or a public execution. As the police officers, real, uniformed Chicago PD, burst onto the arena floor, the explosive confrontations moved from the ring to the ringside barricades. Security tried to block the officers, leading to a physical scuffle that was caught on a viral clip that has since been scrubbed from most mainstream platforms. Meanwhile, in the ring, Brock Lesnar was recovering with a speed that felt supernatural. The insider gossip suggests that Lesnar was chemically enhanced for this match, a secret performance boost provided by the company to ensure he could withstand Cena's desperate counterattacks. Brock didn't look at the police. He looked at Cena with a predatory grin that chilled the blood of everyone watching. He knew the chain incident had just voided Cena's $50 million contract. Then came the twist of the century. A leaked message from Cena's personal legal counsel hit the dark web, claiming that Cena had anticipated the trap. He hadn't just used the chain to hit Brock. He had used it to mark the weapon with Brock's DNA in a specific way that would prove the beast had used it first. This was a high-stakes chess match played with blood and steel. The social media meltdown intensified as fans began analyzing the footage, claiming they saw Brock slip the chain to Cena to frame him. The level of betrayal was onion-like, layers upon layers of deception. Brock Lesnar, realizing the police were closing in, didn't back down. Instead, he delivered a monstrous F5 to Cena directly onto the steel steps, a move that left Cena's body limp and unresponsive. The medical meltdown was real. Paramedics didn't wait for the bell. They rushed the ring, but they were intercepted by Brock, who stood over Cena's broken body like a conqueror. This was a meltdown of the entire refereeing system. The ref was seen crying, actual tears, as he realized he was powerless to stop the slaughter. Leaked messages from the officiating crew suggest they were threatened with career termination if they interfered before Brock was satisfied. But the breaking news didn't stop at the ring. Reports began flooding in that the WWE stock price was plummeting in real time as the sensationalized violence turned off major investors. A secret recording from the boardroom captures an investor screaming, "You're killing the brand. You're killing the Golden Boy." The celebrity reactions were becoming more frequent and more frantic. High-profile actors who had worked with Cena were calling for a total boycott of the network. The explosive drama had transcended the arena and was now a full-blown national scandal. As the police finally reached the ring apron, Brock Lesnar did the unthinkable. He didn't surrender. He grabbed a microphone and, in a bombshell revelation that was never supposed to be aired, he screamed into the mic, "Vince, you didn't pay me enough to go to jail. I'm taking him with me." He then dragged a semi-conscious John Cena toward the crowd, using him as a human shield. The cinematic horror of the moment left the audience in a state of paralysis. Was this a kidnapping? A hostage situation? The insider leaks suggest that this was the moment the script was officially thrown into the trash. The social media chaos reached its absolute zenith when a viral clip showed Cena's longtime rival, who was supposed to be 1,000 miles away, appearing in the shadows of the entrance ramp. The twist was so massive it caused the WWE server to crash for 12 minutes. The figure was holding a black box, the same kind used to store contractual evidence. Was there a third party involved in this sabotage? The betrayal was now coming from outside the company. The emotional breakdown of the fans was total. People were screaming, "Save him!" while others were calling for the Beast to finish the job. Cena somehow found a spark of life. He whispered something into Brock's ear that caused the Beast to pause. A hot mic caught the word, "Checkmate." Suddenly, the Titantron flickered again, showing a leaked recording of Brock Lesnar's private contract negotiations from 2 weeks prior. The audio revealed Brock was actually working with a rival wrestling promotion to sink the ship from the inside. The shocking revelation was that Brock was a double agent. The corporate hit job on Cena was actually a triple cross against the McMahons. The police finally swarmed the ring, but as they reached for Brock, the lights went out completely. The social media meltdown was instantaneous. "Who cut the power?" was the only thing being typed across the globe. When the emergency lights flickered on 30 seconds later, the ring was empty. John Cena was gone. Brock Lesnar was gone. The only thing left on the blood-stained canvas was the steel chain and a single crumpled, secret document that appeared to be a new contract signed in what looked like fresh blood. The cliffhanger was agonizing. Had Cena been abducted by the Beast, or had they both escaped together to form an unholy alliance against the corporation? The world was left in a state of total dramatic shock as a final message appeared on the screen: "The truth is in the blood." The darkness that swallowed the arena didn't just mask a disappearance. It signaled the total collapse of the most powerful media empire in the world. As the social media meltdown hit a fever pitch, with hashtag #WhereIsCena and hashtag Lesnar kidnapping shattering every Twitter record in existence, insider leaks began to pour out of the darkened Wells Fargo Center. "We've obtained a frantic leaked voicemail from a high-ranking producer to his wife, whispering through the static, 'The cameras didn't just go out. They were cut from the outside. They're both gone, and the safe in Vince's office is wide open.'" The sensationalized horror of the situation was no longer a theory. It was a reality that was sending the WWE stock into a literal freefall. While the world was staring at an empty, blood-stained ring on their TV screens, a bombshell revelation was unfolding just 3 miles away in an abandoned industrial warehouse. A leaked, viral clip from a grainy security camera showed a black SUV screeching to a halt. The door flew open, and out stepped Brock Lesnar and John Cena. But they weren't fighting. In a jaw-dropping twist that has left the celebrity gossip world paralyzed, the Beast was helping a blood-drenched Cena walk. This was the unholy alliance no one saw coming. "We have obtained a secret recording from a hidden mic inside that vehicle, and the words will haunt you." Cena's voice, raspy and weak, is heard saying, "They thought they could play us against each other. They thought the blood would buy their silence." To which Lesnar responds with a guttural growl, "They're about to find out what happens when the assets seize the factory." The betrayal had flipped. This wasn't a corporate hit on Cena anymore. This was a revolutionary coup, orchestrated by the two biggest stars in the industry. The social media chaos erupted when a leaked document appeared on a whistleblower site. It was the real contract for Extreme Rules 2012. It revealed that the WWE had planned to legally terminate both men's health insurance and royalty rights the moment the match ended, citing extreme negligence. Cena and Lesnar hadn't just fought a match, they had staged a grand escape to protect their lives and legacies. The celebrity reactions were nuclear. Hollywood A-listers were tweeting, "Cena and Lesnar just robbed the bank," while UFC legends were praising the tactical brilliance of the maneuver. Back at the arena, the explosive confrontations had turned into a full-blown riot. Fans were jumping the barricades, tearing the Extreme Rules banners to shreds. The insider gossip from the locker room suggests that the rest of the roster was in a state of emotional breakdown, refusing to go out for the post-match segments. They realized that if Cena, the face of the company, could be sold out, no one was safe. A secret recording of an emergency meeting in the back captures a top star screaming, "We're done. If John isn't here, we don't work." This was the meltdown of a billion-dollar dynasty. But the final twist was the most explosive of all. As the clock hit midnight, every screen in the arena, and every TV still tuned into the broadcast, flickered back to life. It wasn't the WWE logo. It was a leaked message from an encrypted server. It was John Cena, sitting in that dark warehouse, his head still bandaged, but his eyes burning with a fire we've never seen. "You wanted extreme?" Cena asked, his voice echoing like a death knell. "You got it. But the rules don't just apply to us anymore." Behind him, Brock Lesnar stood like a silent titan, holding the black box that had been missing from the corporate safe. The bombshell revelation. The box contained the private recordings of every illegal boardroom meeting held for the last decade, the internal memos on how they manipulated stocks, silenced whistleblowers, and scripted the real lives of their employees. The social media meltdown turned into a global Twitter war against the corporate office. #BurnTheEmpire became the top trend in 140 countries. High-level insider leaks suggest that federal investigators were already at the McMahon residence by the time the broadcast ended. The cinematic gossip was now a legal nightmare. Celebrities who had previously stayed silent began exposing their own horror stories of working with the company. The emotional explosion of the fans was no longer about a wrestling match. It was about the fall of a corrupt celebrity era. Just as the feed was about to be cut for good, one final, secret recording played. It was a clip from 5 minutes before the match started. It showed John Cena and Brock Lesnar in a dark hallway, shaking hands. "Make it look real," Cena said. "Make them think they're winning." Brock nodded and replied, "I'll make it look like a murder. Just make sure the files are backed up." This was the ultimate double cross. The blood, the chain, the police, it was all a masterfully orchestrated distraction to allow their team to hack the corporate servers and steal the evidence that would set them free. The fake but realistic leaks claim that Cena and Lesnar had formed their own independent agency in the shadows, and that Extreme Rules 2012 was actually their Independence Day. The explosive drama of the night had fundamentally changed the entertainment landscape. No one would ever look at a full match the same way again. They would always be looking for the hidden agenda, the secret signal, and the blood pact behind the curtain. The social media chaos didn't die down for months. It birthed 1,000 conspiracy channels dedicated to uncovering the truth behind every celebrity confrontation. In the final seconds of the leaked feed, Cena held up the steel chain, now cleaned of the blood, but still shining with a cold, hard light. "The chain didn't break me," he whispered. "It broke the system." The screen went to a static emergency broadcast signal, leaving millions of viewers in a state of jaw-dropping shock. The cliffhanger was the biggest in history. With the evidence in their hands and the company in ruins, would Cena and Lesnar start their own new world order of entertainment, or were they heading for a legal war that would last for the rest of their lives? The insider gossip today says that the black box was never fully recovered, and that secret clips of the boardroom are still being leaked to this day. The celebrity meltdown of 2012 remains the most dramatic and sensationalized event in the history of sports entertainment, a night where the Golden Boy and the Beast became the outlaws that saved themselves. The bombshells are still dropping, the betrayals are still being uncovered, and the world is still waiting for the day the Beast and the Champ finally return to finish what they started. This wasn't just a match. This was the extreme end of an era, and the blood-soaked beginning of a revolution that will never be televised. This isn't just the end of a video. It is the beginning of a global investigation into the darkest corners of the entertainment industry. You have just witnessed the greatest heist in celebrity history, but the truth is still leaking out of the shadows as we speak. We need your help. Did you spot the secret signal John Cena gave to the camera at the 14-minute mark? Or did you catch the mysterious figure in the black hoodie standing behind the barricade? The insider leaks are coming in faster than we can process, and the social media war is just heating up. Scroll down right now and smash that subscribe button. If you don't, you are going to miss the bombshell revelation we are dropping in less than 24 hours, a leaked recording that proves exactly who was waiting for Cena and Lesnar in that warehouse. Hit the bell notification. You do not want to be the last person to find out when the black box files finally go public. This is a battle for the truth, and every single one of you is a witness to the revolution. Comment below with the word exposed if you believe Cena and Lesnar were right to burn the empire down. We are pinning the most explosive theory in the comment section, so let your voice be heard in this global meltdown. The corporate lawyers are already trying to scrub this footage from the internet. Share this video everywhere before it's gone forever. Your share could be the one that breaks the media blackout for good. The bridge is burning, the files are open, and the world is watching. Are you with the beast and the champ, or are you with the system? Choose your side now.